Alright, so it's been a while since I've done another video on these new microcars from SNT. They're also known as Cineclo Turbo. The last one I did was on this off-road vehicle crawler. It kind of broke on me, and so they did send me a new one out, and that's this one here, and it does work. And they also sent me the Wrangler, the Jeep Wrangler version, so this one is new. But essentially it's the same chassis or same mechanics under there, so it does the same rock crawling function, but different chassis. Got the same lights and everything. They also sent me a couple of new cars that I don't think I've looked at yet. This is the Q25 370Z, and it's this pink one here. And you see this one comes with the camera, and this is something that I pointed out in the previous videos. You can get the car only or the car plus the FPV box. The FPV box refers to the camera, or you can get the car plus the RC, which is the remote control, or you can get a different combo, car plus RC plus FPV box, or you can get all four, car plus the controller plus the FPV camera plus the goggles. And so they come in different combinations. So somebody complained to me saying that I didn't explain this in the previous one of the previous videos, and they bought just the car only for like the lowest price, and they were expecting all four of these, and they were pretty mad at me about that. I'm pretty sure I explained it in the video that it does come in different sets. You do have to go on the website and select the correct one, and of course the price changes based on the different items that you select that you want. So obviously all four is going to be the most expensive. So I just do want to reiterate that again in case anyone gets this mixed up. I do want to explain that this does come in different combinations. So for example, this one is the 370Z with the FPV boxes. This came with the camera, but then they also sent me this one here. This is the Q25R35. I think this is the GTR. So this is the GTR chassis, no camera. So on this one here, it just says car only. So I didn't, and it shows the color. So they come in different colors and different combo packs. Obviously, they didn't send me everything, but they did give me a few more of these. I think there's like the 2000Z and like I think the 240Z. They didn't send me those, or the 2000 GT. But essentially the same mechanics inside in terms of like how the car works. It's just that the chassis is a little bit different. You have a different look in terms of the lights. But I've already explained all of these things in previous videos, so I'll link those down in the video description if you happen to miss those. And not sure how everything works, go watch those videos. The essence of the car hasn't changed. They're basically the same in terms of how they steer, the way they drive. None of that's changed for these particular models, but they've come up with some new ones. So obviously the rock crawler ones here, I talked about this in the previous video, and of course you got the Jeep Wrangler version. But now we've got this one here. This is the Q38 Series T1. You can see it's a bus, so it's a completely different, much wider wheelbase, or much longer wheelbase here. So quite a bit wider, or quite a bit longer. So just actually put it like this, and you can see how much of a difference that'll make. And the chassis is much larger. So if you put these side by side, quite a bit different here. And what they've done here on this one is they've stuck the camera inside the bus here, so you see inside the glass. But this one is defective. You can see there's some glue there that apparently probably they used to glue the camera in there, and it wasn't fully dry, and maybe the box was upside down at some point, and you can see this in the FPV feed. It's the same camera that was on, that you can you see here in the box here, but it's just that it's outside the case, and it's actually put inside the bus, or inside the chassis, so it's always on all the time. And obviously the bus is a lot larger, and of course the same functions in terms of the headlights and everything like that. They all work the same way with the same controller, and you can bind multiple cars to the same controller. Now the reason I I actually had these cars sent to me, and I had all of these for a while, and I just haven't put a video out because I had a controller. I'm not sure if it was this color or a different color. I threw it away because I accidentally dropped it down a flight of stairs. Not exactly sure how that happened. I guess I was carrying too much stuff, and I dropped this, and I have hardwood floors on the first floor, and the thing completely exploded, shattered, and of course it doesn't work anymore. So I ended up, and that was the only working remote I had because it came with the original set with the goggles and the controller, and they've just been sending me the updated models. And so I didn't have a controller for the longest time until they sent these two new models here. This is the bus. That's the first model, and then the Wi-Fi car. I'll talk about that here in a second, but that's why I wasn't able to make any videos on these new models. But in essence, they're basically the same. You can take the little top off here. That's a little magnetic hatch, and pull that off, and then put the camera on this, so I can basically move the camera over to this car if I wanted to. I thought I could do it on this one, and I thought maybe they were originally thinking they could do it on this design. And I tried to pull this little hatch off, and it's actually glued down, and I actually broke it. It's actually pulled the glue off. There's no electronics there to put that FPV camera on top of this one here because it's built in. I thought maybe I could have two cameras, but it's not going to work for this one. So there's that new model. And then there is this one here, is the Wi-Fi car. So it's the exact same car. It's the GTR R35. So this is the RC version, and this is the Wi-Fi version. And this is just basically the blue chassis and the black chassis. You can see the cars are the same. I haven't noticed any differences. But this one here, the RC version, connects to the RC, the remote controller. But the Wi-Fi version does not connect to the RC. You have to use the smartphone app to connect to this and then drive it around. And it has, of course, the same function. You have the ability to put the camera on top of here. This one was sent to me without the camera because I have other cameras. I could just pull it off the other cars and put it on here. But this, you can see it's turned on right now. It's essentially the same. It's got the USB-C. It's got the same power switch. If you didn't know this was the Wi-Fi version, from the outside, there's no way to know that this is the Wi-Fi version. It looks like the RC version, but the RC does not connect to this. Only the Wi-Fi version will connect this. So it's turned on right now. I have the app here already turned on, or actually installed. You can download it from the Google Play Store. It's, just search for their company name, SNICLO. You have to connect to the Wi-Fi. It's like SNICLO Turbo, and then some random numbers and letters. And the password is sniclo.com, all lowercase. So if you, I didn't see that in the documentation anywhere. I had actually contact tech support, and they then told me what the password was. So I'll just put it up here on the screen, sniclo.com, and then that'll let you connect. And now you have the ability to control the car via the phone, and so you have left and right. And it's going to be not going to be so sure if you can see that or not, but you can turn the steering wheel left and right like this. And actually, let me pull it up like this to the camera. Maybe they'll be able to see it. So steering, like so, and then you have the ability to control your throttle or your speed with the left stick. So and then it's proportional. So if you just move it a little bit, it goes slow. And the lights work the same way as well. But if you move the stick more up, it'll go faster. So it'll go really fast. And then let's pull it back. And of course, you can just drive it around just with the on-screen controls. So basically, it's like a video game, and you can just use the on-screen controls to control the car. If you want to change like the color of the lights and stuff, you can do that in the settings over here under lights. So you have your headlight, you can control the brightness there, your turn signals, your brake light, backup light, etc. You can also change the color of the atmosphere lights. I think it's red right now. Let's change that to blue. And now you can see it's changed to blue. But if you want to go back to, say, purple or red, you can do that, or green. Let's click on that. Yeah, I like the blue. Blue goes better, obviously, blue car. So you can control the lights like you can do on the remote controller. If you want to change the way you control the car, you can go in here and turn on motion controls. And then when you do that, the steering is controlled by the tilt of the phone. So let me see if I can show this to you. So I'm turning the phone, and basically there's the gyro in your phone will act as a steering wheel, so you can do that. The throttle is still controlled by the left stick over here on the screen. Also under control, you can turn on beginner mode, and what that does is it limits how much rate you have or how much you can turn. So if you're going really fast, it won't spin out on you on this one. So I have kind of played around with this one. It does take a little used to how to control it with the phone, but I think there was some practice. It's not going to be too difficult. But the nice thing is you can pick up the car. Obviously, a lot of people already have a smartphone. You can pick up the car. You don't have to spend the money on the controller, and instead you could probably spend the money on the FPV camera instead. And the FPV camera works exactly the same way. It just connects to, like a FPV goggle or one of these little FPV screens. You have to pick that up, or you can buy the goggle, of course, and then you can get video that way. But if you just want the car, just pick up the car and you can steer it around just with your phone and the app, no problem. Now, if you want to trim out the steering, you can click on this button here, and then you can adjust the trim here. So mine was a bit out of trim. Wasn't going quite straight, so if yours isn't quite straight out of the box, you can trim it by pressing this here and activate that, and then click off of that, and then it will turn off the trim function. Anyway, I think that's going to cover for this video. Overall, pretty cool products from SNT. Again, links down in the video description. And again, make sure you pick the correct one so you don't accidentally pick the wrong one or the wrong version and end up being a very unhappy camper, not getting what you are hoping to get. And that's going to cover for this video. Got any questions, let me know. Talk to you guys in the next one.